Hello everybody, welcome back to Succeed with Omid. Today I'm answering a viewer's question from another video, but really quick, if you haven't seen my videos on bow breathing, something I borrowed from Elliot Hulse in his bioenergetic world, and it works phenomenally for releasing a lot of stored tension in my abdominals. You can use it for the hips, you can use it for the chest, the neck, even the jawline. But this specific viewer had a question of, listen, I love the abdominal release, but how do I get into my deep pelvic floor, all of my internal organs, and maybe deal with some back pain too? Well, this vacuum breath I'm about to teach you guys is going to deal with all three of those things. So really quick before I get into that, peristalsis is a really important word for people to understand. It's the idea that our internal organs, let's say the intestines, actually have this autonomic or automatic movement of micro contractions through to push that ball of food a little bit through at a time. But just like if I get into a bad position and I stay there for a long time, I get really tight, and then when I try and move, it tends to hurt a little bit. It takes a while for that muscular contraction to release and get to restored function. If we're sitting for a long time and our abdominal wall hasn't been working to increase that peristalsis, the actual internal digestion gets a little weaker and a little weaker and a little weaker until it almost stops working. So this vacuum breath is really going to help this sort of stuff. 3 or 4 times a day is about all you're going to need at first, because these muscles are really deep and really weak for most people in this country right now. But let's show off my belly for a second. I've got these corseting kind of muscles here called the transverse abdominis, and then I've got part of my pelvic floor that acts like a diaphragm movement. It's why even though the lungs only go to about here, when I breathe, my belly moves. These guys tend to move the organs around up and down into the pelvis and back up and in. So if I take a breath in, everything inflates and moves out, and then when I breathe out, most people stop about here, but they can keep going. And what that does, it's that corseting effect of the transverse abdominis trying to really squeeze out a lot of the pressure. So if you want a six-pack, breathe more. But here's the truth. We don't need the crutch of the breath. If I just hold my breath and then push out, you can even hear it. There's some peristalsis happening in my gut right now. And then I draw it in. And this is something you can work on your own, whether you're breathing or not, viewer. We really want to not necessarily strengthen those muscles. The stronger a muscle actually is, the less it can really move. These are muscles that we just want to tonify. We want to actually get them to be able to draw in. Not necessarily you never work out in that kind of position, but if the ability is actually not there, if the capacity for it to do that is not there, then the capacity or ability of our actual peristalsis gets weakened. So that's it for today. I hope this helps that one viewer out and answers their question very well. Otherwise, I hope this information was helpful to a lot of you guys out there. As always, have a happy and healthy rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time.